Don't you love it when technology tends to fail you when you're not paying attention? Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to The Long Dark and our Interloper run. We left off at a kind of an odd spot last episode because of the fact the microphone died, and there was more to that episode than what you guys got to see, so I just cut it at a logical place to end it. I didn't want to spend another 20 minutes walking around in Bleak Inlet with no microphone and me just talking to myself. So, what happened? I guess I probably accidentally pushed the mute button and then was not paying attention to my OBS while I was recording, because sometimes I just get a little bit to the point where I'm not paying attention. But anyhow, I decided to bring us back up to this cabin where we were, or where we left off, so that we could kind of continue from here, because there's a few things I want to talk about. The first thing is, and this just happened yesterday, is that we now have had the update, the survival update for Blackrock Penitentiary area, the Blackrock zone. So what I thought was going to be the last zone, which was going to be Bleak Inlet, is now not going to be the last zone. I was expecting this series to probably end sometime in December, at least looking at this in December, and depending on how the craziness goes with the holidays between now and the middle of January is depending on what we're going to get done. So we now have a whole new zone to visit. So I am kind of excited. I've already been kind of exploring it just, off camera, just to make sure that I know. I've already done the entirety of the zone in the episode. The entirety. I already know what the entire zone looks like. I just need to know where the entrances and exits are so that we can get things done reasonably well. Very excited for it. Very excited to bring that to you guys. And that's probably going to mean that we're going to kind of cut Bleak Inlet a little bit shorter than I wanted to. But that's okay, because I was kind of expecting to spend not very much time here anyway. Two things that I already know at this point is that there's going to be some massive changes to the way the gameplay will be when it comes to where they put this thing. So before we go to bed, we can talk about it real quick. Let's hit the map button. Of course, we can't see a single thing in Bleak Inlet because we haven't mapped anything. They, however, did this little doohickey majobber up here. We spawned up here in Timberwolf Mountain. So they have attached it to the, and I guess I should say at this point in time, spoilers for anybody. This is obvious. This is the thing. I'm not going to tell you guys right now where the entrances are, other than it's blatantly obvious. If you trace the river routes into this area, they tell you the two locations that you will be able to get there from. Basically, this little area right here. That's going to leave us with an interesting problem, because we're down here. We're down here. Well, there's two entrances to Bleak Inlet. Entrances, exits. One of which is the ravine, at which the direction we came in, and one is over in Forlorn Muskeg. I had plans on getting us over to the Muskeg and then probably wandering our way back up to Timberwolf Mountain and parking this one, as I usually tend to do with my characters once I get the majority of the area finished. And now we have a reason to continue on further. So without further ado and wonderful things, let's get today started. We need to take a nap. We need to do a few things, and then we need to sort out what we want in this zone. So unfortunately, I don't want to do that. Unfortunately, I did already run down to the residences, the Cannery Residences, and then again realized we had a problem, so I ran all the way back up here. Then we can continue on down. So the first thing I want to do for sure is make sure we're drunk up as good as we can, slept up as good as we can, and get on to the next thing. So I'm going to pass about 5 hours of time to get this eyeball where we can get through the night. And then we're going to just kind of get on through Bleak Inlet. I've stated it many times, I'm not a huge fan of this zone. It's cold, it's full of timber wolves, and it's just really not a great place to come if you are an interloper. Mainly because of the fact there's nothing here for you. We slept through, we're good to go, cabin fever risk. I knew this one was coming because of the stuff that's been going on. We'll get that over with in a minute.
anything right about now.
Oh, you'll be fine, darling. The unproblem is I did manage to eat everything I think we have here, so we're going to be eating cattails for the moment until we can get something laid down. Anyhow, I think at the end of last episode, we cleaned up a bunch of stuff in this cabin. I do want to bring all of the cloth and all of the just the random stuff that's going to be here down to the worker residences, because the residence is where you as an individual will likely base up in this zone. There's a nice little spot. I mean, we can bring this up with us, and I know it's here. Depending on what I feel like, we may end up leaving the zone here through the way we came in, which is going to be a little odd because I very rarely go back up that rope. But let's go get our... my brain is kind of sitting on the new zone now, so let's get our stuff going, and we're going to need to start practicing some cold weather technologies and weather methodologies. So the first is going to be anytime you have the ability in cold weather and nice quiet, especially in bleak. Did we make a spot out here? Light a fire, especially if you have a mag lens. Get a fire lit so that you can carry torches, because I happen to know how cold these two zones are going to be. So we're going to play with the two very coldest, nastiest zones that we possibly can last, and hopefully make it out of both of them. So first thing I'm going to do is just do that and pull a torch off of this. And I should actually warm a tea up, but I don't really think I'm going to worry about it right now. I'm going to play with the torch, mainly because torches are protection from timber wolves here. The deer that was right up there, I harvested it in that episode that we kind of chopped up, and I didn't get to show you guys. That's fine, no big deal. That's why there's guts and things laying on the ground. So let's get out of here and get down to the Cannery Residences as reasonably quickly as we can. We're very heavy, and we're going to have to deal with a couple of things. So there is a deer somewhere right here, and there's also tea-making materials. I don't know where the deer went. I did see it. It disappeared. So what I wanted to kind of explain about this zone is where the timber wolves will kind of be all the time. They're almost always going to be, I mean, if I go up on top of this rock and look down in there, there's a little kind of a pondy area behind these rocks, and on top of that hill, there will be timber wolves. They're almost always going to be there. In this zone, you can walk around the majority of them without having to fight with them. We're going to end up having to fight them eventually once we get towards the cannery, but for the most part, the idea for me is to stay away from them as much as possible, as we did up on top over there by the lookout. So we're incredibly heavy. We're incredibly nasty right now. I mean, I'm way overweight. Well, I guess I'm not that overweight. But I basically wanted to carry everything out of that cabin aside from the deer hide and guts that we had. And I don't want to leave anything in that cabin, basically. So we're going to bring all of the cloth and some of the useful things down to this other area. So there's the lookout, and we should be able to actually kind of see the area, the location. Timbers are going to be up there. I mean, I'm kind of having a hard time pointing at it, but you see the bottom of that log. They're going to be kind of on the back side of that hill or up on top of that hill, and sometimes they will come clear down into this little area here.
My fingers feel numb.
And they're just, like I said, that pack is one of the larger ones, and I kind of want to just let them be. Now, you can get rid of them. It's another one of those. We'll have to fight them. I just don't want to fight them at this point in time. How much wood do we have? 8. Let's pick up 2 more. This is one of those zones that you may want to try to bring as much stuff as you can for a snow shelter, which means I need a couple of more sticks. Just because of how the weather can get really, really, really ridiculously cold. This is actually nice and warm considering some of the practicing that I've been so far. So it's actually very nice and warm in Bleak Inlet today, or at least this morning. Normally Bleak is right around freezing. Excuse me, freezing. 0 Fahrenheit, which is like minus whatever it is for you guys. My math's not good, so. But we're going to walk down through here and look at a couple of things that I've already looked at this point. So we'll just kind of keep picking up sticks. We're going to need wood when we get down to the residences because there are some things that we're going to need to do. I am not going to bother going over there. I know there's a dead guy back there. At times there's a dead guy back there. Hey, hello, click on tools, please. We need torches. We're going to bring torches with us since we got a fire. So yeah, we're gonna kind of run through Bleak in a hurry. Generally, I have no real interest in staying here. Even on Stalker, it's not a really good zone to come to in any of the lower levels, unless you need bullets, unless you need stuff. There's really no reason to come to this zone other than, and I forgot, I already checked this, but it's a good zone to come to, but it's cold, it's nasty. It's got one bear, a whole lot of weak ice, and a good chance for 2 moose, sometimes 3. So we're just going to kind of walk down the creek and go over to the residences. And you kind of, like I stated, I kind of want to play around off the paths of the timbers. There'll be some more right over there. That same pack I'm talking about, it's pretty much anything in this little hole back there, right over there, is where they're going to hang out. So I kind of want to stay away from them for the moment. That pack anyway. We're getting awful heavy. I think if you can see the little dots on the hillside over there, those were some birch saplings, which I hope I left over here. I think I did. I just wanted to kind of redo this walk so that you guys could see it. Now we need to be careful in this area because there is a bear. Those of you that have been here know. So you got to kind of pay attention. He likes to walk from his cave, which is right over there on that mountain, through this area and around and up and over and back and down and under the bridge and to grandmother's house we go, kind of thing. I don't know where he's at, but I don't see him. I hope he stays where he is at this point, unless he's right by the house. But you're kind of aiming for those burnout trees. And to the residences, keep your eyes open. No bear? Oh, you be fine, trust me. Cannery worker residences. Need to make sure you explore this little area. When I got here, there was, I forget how many, hit the button correctly. I think we had 5 pieces of coal. There'll be a bunch of coal land right here. Unfortunately, we don't get to pick them up, but yeah. And a few cattails on the pond behind you. This is one of those things that I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get As the Dead Sleep to work very quickly and very well, which is why we did such a good job on As the Dead Sleep. Is because I practiced this quite a bit just to getting the start down. The first couple of days on As the Dead Sleep, if you're trying to play it, you want to practice this start. I mean, you can just run through it and be whatever, but if you want to try to go long-term, long run on As the Dead Sleep, you need to wait for a specific starting point, which is generally going to be when you get a pot up there. So if you can get the pot up there, you might get lucky and get some really good stuff. Well, let's go inside. Okay, I do believe we've searched all this stuff. Yeah, okay, I left all this stuff laying here, plus a bunch of sticks. Again, like I said, I came down here, I made a little water, got a couple of baseball caps. We're going to go ahead and light the fire since we have it. Again, free fires are always nice to keep. All right.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
And we'll just toss a stick or 2 on it, just to keep it running for a second. Now, I'm going to leave a bunch of stuff behind here. Again, as always, I don't tend to carry way too much stuff around this zone, but it's important to try to pay attention to what you do have. So we do have a few other little things going, and I don't understand exactly why we're so heavy. Why are we so heavy? Why are we so... Oh, because we have a bunch of teas. I keep forgetting we have a whole load of teas and things that we need to do. So let's put down a not a birch bark, but a couple of those guys, and we'll check a couple of things out. So I do want to kind of leave a couple of stuff laying around. So go ahead, drop one of those so that we don't need it. I'm going to go and drop... Oop, I don't want that. I'm going to go and drop 4 of these here. This is an area... Again, like I state a lot of the times, you tend to find areas that you're going to base up in. Can you put that away, please? And this is one of those areas where you'll base up in. You'll end up with a little bit of clothing. You'll end up with a few things. And, you know, you just... Things and stuff kind of happen to do various... You know, you end up in... This is a good spot. And the reason why this is a good spot is because there is a... Come on. Fishing hut right there. There's a fishing hut around the corner and a bear that comes through this zone right here. So this is an excellent place to kind of hang out. The only thing that's really not here is firewood. So, but again, we're playing the little, it's kind of cold somewhat here, so we'll kind of do a few things. What time is it? I kind of wanted to get to the cannery today now that we have some of the stuff and at least get set up. I know it's cold out there, and I know I'm going to end up leaving a few things here. Actually, all of this is going to come with us and get left over in those other trailers, so we need to get as light as we can. For some odd reason, I am really heavy, and it's probably due to the fact we have a bunch of these. I am now interested in saving these. As much as possible, I'm interested in saving these because we are going to need those if we investigate Blackrock. So, how are we for torches? I kind of want to bring the best ones with us, so I don't want you... So 47, 46, 45, 42, those can stay right there. And I am going to drink one of those. And I'm going to pick you up, and we're going to go, we're just going to leave everything sitting here. So how much is on that? Enough for a torch. Perfect. Let's go. We've got plenty of water, plenty of things. Actually, let's put some of this water down. Cabin fever risk is on. I had forgotten all about that. Cabin fever is hard to get rid of in this zone, at least where we are. So how bad are we doing right now? Push the right button. We have at to the A. So, all right. Well, let's go. Actually, I do want to go over there first. Let's just go over there really quickly. We have a full eyeball, and that'll get us a little bit of time outside. So we'll go check the lighthouse out and see if we can't kill a little bit of time over here. If nothing else, what I may do is go light a fire and take a nap over here and see if we can get the cabin fever to go away. That's kind of crazy. How much time? I don't know. There's also a really good... Actually, let's just do that while we're here as well. There's a really good beach combing section over here. Really good. This is one of the better ones. So we got a little bit of time. We can explore this side, maybe see if we can't get our head inside the bear cave, or maybe even kill the bear, because sometimes there's a deer carcass that spawns in the back of his cave. And if he's not here, I think that's him right there, actually. Yep, he's way over there on the hill. Oh, yeah, we're going to do the beach combing. And then go up to the lighthouse and then go back down to the residences. I brought way too much stuff with us, but we can get rid of some of these torches. That's fine. At least it keeps us kind of warm. But yes, I'm very excited for Blackrock. Very excited for it. It was a gigantic zone. For those of you that have not played the episode, it's a huge zone. It's pretty decent size. I would say probably as big as, well, at least Ash Canyon. Oh, wait. At least as big as Ash Canyon. I am standing on snow. Really? But there has been some changes. Again, there's some updates. They've added a few things, and they're starting to talk about how they're going to treat 2020. So again, even if you guys haven't looked at it, it's a good idea to go read the devlog, the diary blog, whatever it is, and understand what they did change. Crampons are now repairable, so it may be something for us to examine how. I need to pick all this stuff up. If they're, repairable at the milling machine, that would be fantastic. No. I'm going to pick all this stuff up in case I decide to come back. Did we make another one, or is it already warm? Cold. Click. Bring it. All right, cool. So then we'll warm back up. But yeah, that is one of the biggest things that I did notice is that they made the crampons repairable now, which they were not getting a whole lot of goodies. So that will be something that we're going to explore here. I have a feeling it's going to be either milling machine or toolbox or whatever it is. I have not experimented yet. I don't think ours are even worth trying to mess with at this point. They're 98%. I mean, repair, just two scrap metal. Interesting, huh? I was kind of hoping that they would give, like interlopers a reason to come to some of these zones and actually spend some time in them because, we don't get a gun, so there's no point in bringing parts and pieces to make more ammunition in a zone like this. There's not a forage here, so there's no way of building parts and pieces for our bow and arrow or our tools. And I mean, as far as I recall, I can't even repair my homemade tools in actually, no, I think you can, come to think of it, if I remember correctly. So, like, the only real reason to come to this zone, as far as an interloper is concerned, is to kind of collect the goods and then leave. So, there again, there's a pretty good moose hunting spot here, for what it's worth, if the one spawns by the washed out trailers. The other one, he's a little too far away for any real reason to be messed with. We'll check that on the way back. There's also some matches over here that I kind of want to see if we got, but we'll check those on the way down. But I mean, as far as actual long life lopers staying here, there's not a lot of reason to come in, and that's kind of what my problem is. I hate the timber wolves for one, because they're just buggy and like not really all that great, and they're hard to deal with because you don't have a gun, so you can't scare them off unless you shoot a flare at them or you throw a torch at them. They're scared of fire. So if you hold a torch, the beauty of a timber wolf is if you hold a torch and just walk, they'll just kind of run around you scared because they can't get to you. They're scared of fire just like other wolves are. Hi, bunnies. Bye, bunnies. And they're just buggy. They're just buggy, and they're hard to fight, especially in lopers. So they're not as much fun in other difficulties. So the other thing is, these are now savable. These are useful, which is going to be kind of a bad thing because I haven't been saving them. I've been leaving them around because we get to build the fireworks thingy that they had. So the little noisemakers. Is it, again, worth your time to make them? Probably not, but I mean, it is what it is. I never used them hardly at all while I was doing the episode, so it is what it is. There is nothing up here unless you are on lower, like Stalker or lower. There will be a flare gun up there with an undisclosed amount of flares in it. For us, there's nothing up there. So anyhow, we'll just let's do that, even though it's not a great one. So, and do that. So let's go over to that fishing hut right over there, and then we'll go back to the residences. I was kind of hoping to do a few things. Let's just get this area searched out because, again, this fishing hut, and then there's a bear cave kind of right over there. If he's not in the cave, we may go and sneak in behind him and see if there's anything good in there. I have many times found a deer corpse in there. So let's see. And yeah, you can sleep out here. How are we doing on our cabin fever? No. We may have to spend the night in the fishing hut, so that's not great, but that's okay. If we have to spend the night in the fishing hut to get rid of that, that's fine. We're going to end up spending a lot of time over at the cannery anyway. I don't know. I'm going to open the door, but something I have noticed, especially since the update that brought us Blackrock in the story mode, that weather patterns have been a lot different, and I know I've said that quite a few times. I was interested to see how this zone was. In bleak, this kind of weather indicates a blizzard, guaranteed. But yet, we've been out wandering around like morons for a while and have not had a blizzard show up yet. Now, what we'll have to wait on, I guess the next weather pattern is you start to wait for the wind to pick up and the snow to start going sideways, and then that will indicate very shortly that there will be a blizzard.
Gotta warm up somehow.
Oh, you'll be fine. I need to eat something. We're going to go over to this fishing cabin here, or fishing hut, and see if there's anything good in it, and then I guess we're going to have to go spend the afternoon, evening in the other one, which is fine. We need to go catch some fish anyway. So, but yeah, like weather like this.
Starving.
God, she got to talk a lot. Weather like this usually was a decent indicator of a blizzard or nasty weather coming. Bleak is usually very, very, very clear. It's one of the areas you can go and have a mag lens fire almost every single day. And throughout the day, I mean, you can usually check it first thing in the morning before the sun even comes up. So here, this is an issue. And the reason why it's so clear,
I'm freezing.
the reason why it's so clear is because this area has to have reasonably clear weather so that you can get a lot of auroras. And auroras only tend to have, hey, that was a brand new can of tomato soup. Eat it then. But yeah, we need to have clear weather in order to be able to get an aurora so that you can get the milling machine in the cannery to work. So without that, you're not going to get it. So what we're going to kind of do is we're going to have fun. We're going to do back-to-back the two areas that are going to have really cool stuff in them and see what the difference in their weather patterns are to see which one of these is actually worth going to. Okay, he's going home. We'll leave him alone. I don't need what's over there unless I think there's probably, sometimes there's a sapling right there. We're really nice and heavy now. Yeah, I think there's a sapling sitting right there. There's usually going to be a maple right there. We don't need it, and I don't need what's in his cave. So let's run this back over to the house. We'll dump off a bunch of junk and then probably spend just a little bit of time maybe in the fishing hut. See, now, like I say, the view distance is starting to get bad. Stuff's starting to get a little hard to see again. This would be an indication of bad weather coming. Usually is an indication of bad weather coming because my distance is starting to go away. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's okay. We'll live. How are we on hypothermia? We're fine. All right. We're just going to walk slowly over to this house and dump a bunch of stuff off. So yeah, again. But anyhow, and yeah, again, and all those things. I really need to work on my English. Give me a torch. Use. Click. Yeah, I think we may have some bad weather coming finally. That took a really long time. I mean, the snow's starting to get really thick. I bet we go in the door and come back out over here and it'll be a blizzard or nasty. I mean, in that case, what I may just go ahead and do, yeah, it's starting to come. Go, 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 go. Go. I don't want to waste this. Free fire. Light a fire. Light a fire. Torch. Please. Go. So we're going to need to get rid of the cabin fever. So I'm going to come in here and fish probably tonight for a little while just so that we can get rid of it. And we'll put 1, 2, 1, 2. And a bunch of sticks. Like so, and 1 piece of coal, and that will be a really nice hot fire that a blizzard is not going to mess with us. What did we get in here? Nothing. Nothing. And nothing. Okay. So I guess, considering that I am where I am, we're going to go ahead and just put a few things down. Can I get it? Can I get it? Sometimes you can get it to sit right there. There. Okay, cool. And again, we put our clothing away that we care about. So our big heavy stuff in that one. And then all this stuff can go in here. And I can then rip this up. And we're going to get rid of the hypothermia. So I'll go ahead and rip that up. Harvest it. Come on, mouse. We're going to the store today to go buy a new keyboard either way. I don't want to buy a new mouse. For those of you, it's kind of funny. I had an E key decide this doesn't want to work all of the sudden, and instead of taking this keyboard apart and cleaning it, I've realized that I've owned it for like 3 years, and it's probably time to go buy a new keyboard. So we're going to go buy a new keyboard. It's amazing how much an E key is so important to every single day. So break the ice.
I've been so hungry in my life.
And maybe we'll time-lapse a blizzard and a little bit of fish. So we've got, what, 10 hours to play in? Let's catch some fish. Hopefully we catch... Oh, don't screw it up. This is very important. Put all those away. I don't want to use anything but that one for right now. So go ahead, and we'll fish for like 4 hours and see what we get. And basically all I'm going to do is just fish and eat and fish and eat and fish and eat, hopefully. If not, we're going to go ahead and have to stop, so take it. Get one more maybe. Nope, we're going to have to do that. So drop, fish, go. 37 minutes. And then you just do something about like that. He should be done.
Let's stand a lot because I love horses.
Eat it. That was pretty close. And that's basically all I do with him, is I just do that and back and forth until we get it going. Yeah, look at the weather. That's pretty much a blizzard, but not quite. So let's see, drink some water. And then we do the fun stuff. So put the pot down, make water, fish for 2 hours. And I will see you guys probably in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.